Hi, I've received so many questions of different circle castings, and they vary in every book and so on. So first I make with one circle, then with two circles. They might look like this with three circles, or drawn with 1, 2 or 3. So this is the main in witchcraft, or the two first ones, and as well as in magic for daily practice. And you should at least once draw it on the floor or lay out rope, and the most common traditional way is where you east, south, west, north. So you're facing east where you have your altar, or in the middle of the circle. And if you work with candles and incense, that's where you start the working candle always first. And then you light your candles for the ones you are calling upon, or the god or goddess, and incense. And water, of course, on the altar, and salt, or earth. And you start east, and I do it like this. I always do the exorcism of the salt, water, and those items before, or you can do it yourself, and then they are always ready standing on the altar, so you don't have to do the banishing or exorcism more than once. Except for the water, maybe if you take it out of a tap and don't have. I charge the water and put it away on the altar. So I lift the incense and the candle, the water, chalice, and the earth and the salt, and I bless them up above my head. And then I circumambulate round through. And some people carry it on a tray and walk around the circle and offering it like to all of the elements like that. And sometimes people take it many in the witchcraft tradition, they might draw a pentacle with a candle, the water, earth and salt. And I've seen so many different variations on this. And you start in the east and you stop in the east, or whatever direction you are working in. When you want to work with your ancestors, that will mean the dead, that's when you usually have the altar in the west, and so on. And if you want to work with elementals of fire, you start with the fire and south, and or the earth in the north. But here we come into where I have done things differently, at least, circle 2. And that's when you have two circles like that. And that's when I have already done this first circle. So I draw the pentagrams and start invoking air, fire, water, earth and spirit. Or I call upon Yod He Vah He, Adonai, Eheye, and Agla. Or I might work with the dragons, and that's when I call upon the dragons of air, fire, water, earth. Or many practice that with the guardians of the elements, or they can call upon trees or ancestors. There are so many variations to that as well. But what I haven't seen many do, but they were been asking me about, since especially when I work with the dragons as young out in the nature. In this time, as we draw two circles, I hold the pentacle in my left hand, and traditionally in magic you should have a sword or something in your right hand to command, but I don't. But you hold it up like this, since they stand outside the circle, and you ask each of them to charge and fill this with power and energy. So it can feel quite hot in the hand. And then I also done the same thing with the wooden pentacle, that you ask them, and you can do it with only one dragon of fire, or one dragon with air, or combine, or an angel. That you hold it out and they charge it from outside, like the archangels of air, fire, water and so on. They also can charge this while you hold this up, so you get the energy right there. And I don't know what it's called, since I haven't seen anybody do it. but I guess that I must have picked it up from somewhere, and it might be an Eastern tradition, I don't know. And once you've done this, and I call it charging the pentacle, you can start with a something God form, or go calling on the deity, or whatever you are working with there. And a god, goddess. Many stop at that, especially in witchcraft and paganism. They don't go above that. So that is the whole working, and they assume the god form, and they visualize the god form, then they step into it and direct the magic with a wand or something like this selenite stick, and do their magic. But when there are 3 circles, or sometimes there might be 2, but I often include this circle 3 anyway, since I create the sphere facing the altar here. And I have even a bell, or I can knock with a dagger or something onto the altar 3 times to start the really action. It's like a commando for my mind to be totally focused. And the spirits listen to that knock as well, that the ritual has officially started here. And that is with prayer, invocation and evocation, and for divination, scrying, really needing an answer, communication and magic. And then of course there is, you can fill this sphere up with using you raise the temple, or you fill it up with energy, so there is the middle pillar ritual. And sometimes people make it in circle 2 as well, as they raise the energy there. Especially in witchcraft and paganism, they stop there and do all the energy work there. And they of course do their gratitude and offerings stopping there as well. And I always offer action and an incense sometimes, or if I feel called to do something. But in the pagan traditions, they can offer up singing, poems, poetry, create art, and whatever they do, and as an offering as well. So there are so many choices that I can't go into that. But for easy daily practice, in the beginning, if you can't visualize, draw a circle. You can use your finger or just like that, and draw a circle. Do the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, or the lesser invoking I usually do, or you connect to the elements and spirit. And then you just do your practicing energy work, raise energy, practice the middle pillar, meditation, scrying, how to charge guidance and divinations. So you are protected within that circle, since you are protected by the 4 elements around you and spirit above you. And I can't really explain how you do it astrally, since I can't visualize, but I can sometimes see that, and it's always told that you should project blue light when you draw the circles and the pentagrams. And of course I haven't ever been able to do that, since when I get a visual I can have my eyes open, but I can see them sometimes flaming in gold. So that's a different color, but they're always flaming gold for me. So I can't visualize colors. So when it comes in gold, it is gold. So I guess I'm supposed to work with gold. And here's how I think of it, the ritual. It should be like this, at least in circle 2, in my opinion, and circle 3, that you have this sphere, and already in circle 1 you start to practice it, that you have the middle here and you are protected like in a sphere. And then you fill up the energy sphere with energy, and it will hold energy, and you learn to direct it from there. And it can be used for healing, magic, prayer, and anything you want, and focus and sending out love or anything. So this was just a quick short down of many different ways, but they are easy and you can always adjust them, and this is some simple tips for working with grimoires. You have to know some of these basics and then you try out. And I always felt myself through it. I'm not afraid to start a completely new ritual, but I just try to feel it inside. How does it feel? Does it flow? Does it go easily? Or is there something that is off? Sometimes what works for one person don't work for another, so keep the basics down and then you change that what doesn't work for you and you learn from there. Have a magical day. Bye for now.